Welcome to the Path to Mindset Mastery. My name is Brad Bizek. I'm a mindset strategist and coach, inspirational speaker, and creator of Appreciation Academy. And today is all about courage. Today is all about how to take that action, the thing that you truly want in your life, and how to get yourself to do it. There's so many misconceptions about fear in our lives that we face on a regular basis, but it's such a beautiful thing, and we're going to work through all of that today. So, if you find value in this podcast, before we get rocking and rolling, make sure and give us a rating and review. Head to our podcast on iTunes, submit a rating and review, give us a written review. I love seeing the words and how this has served you in some way. And if you really like this content, linked below, we have the ability to subscribe to this. So we'll email you every single Wednesday at 7 a.m. saying, hey, here's a new training, here's a new podcast episode to change your life and your mindset in some way. There's so many ways to get in touch, and they're linked up below this video. One of the things that I find so fulfilling is helping people master their mindset, because we think about our life and what we want to achieve, and we make it overly complex, but at the end of the day, it's our thinking that allows us to get there. It's how we think. Our life is a direct reflection of our thoughts. And it might not be right away when we change our thinking that our life changes. There's a lag time there. But our thoughts first exist in the mind and then exist in reality. In fact, anytime that you've seen anything created in your entire life, it first existed in someone's mind. There was a certain way of thinking. There was a certain pattern of beliefs that they had that allowed them to take their life to the next level. And that's one of the things that I just get so excited about helping people with, and that's what we're going to work through today. So we're going to talk about courage, how to have the courage to go after your biggest dreams and your biggest goals. But we need to realize first, there's a couple really big myths about courage. I should say about fear, because the opposite of courage is fear, right? That's the opposite of it. And there's a couple really, really big myths about fear that hold us back, right? So first we need to agree, courage is taking action in spite of fear. Would you agree with that? Courage is taking action in spite of fear. Well, there's a couple myths about fear that we feel on a regular basis. At least these are the things that I felt as I was kind of up and coming in my journey. I felt these things as well. And the first myth about fear is that you shouldn't feel it. I see a lot of people saying, be fearless, be fearless, be fearless. And I get the sentiment behind it, right? It's a beautiful sentiment about trying to take action and go after it and just act as if you didn't have fear. I get that. I totally get that. But is it actually true that we're never going to face fears? Is it actually true that we'll ever be fearless? Absolutely not. We will always feel fear. So one of the biggest myths that we could ever face is that we shouldn't feel fear. In fact, if you don't feel fear as you're going after your big dreams and big goals, if you don't feel fear, it's a sign that you should be playing bigger. If you don't feel fear on a regular basis, it's a sign that you should be playing bigger. So think about where this comes from. You might have heard me talk about this before, but I'll go through it again. If you think about where this fear comes from, it comes from like millions of years ago, right? We haven't evolved much, but millions of years ago, we weren't worried about doing Instagram lives or saving enough money for retirement or having a great marriage. Our fears were primal. They were based on fear of the saber-toothed tiger that was hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your infant baby. That's what you were worried about millions of years ago. We haven't evolved much since then. And we don't have the same threats, but we do have the same mind. The same mind exists, but we don't have those same threats. So we start attributing fear to things that aren't actually scary. Things like going live on Instagram, things like sending out an invitation to your business, things like saving a bunch of money or investing an extra 10% in retirement, worry that you might not have enough for your bills, whatever it is. We fear those things, but at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, are you gonna die? Are you actually going to die? That's what we're afraid of. We're deeply afraid that we're not going to survive. That's what we link up to it, right? And so we need to ask ourselves, there's always these memes going around, but did you die, right? Same thing here. These things that we're afraid of, they're not actually scary from a survival perspective. And once we calm the mind, right, the amygdala, the part of your brain that's going bananas, fight or flight response, when these different stimuli come into your life, when you realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to be okay either way. I'm going to survive either way. You calm that part of your brain down, and all of a sudden, when you calm your brain down, you can start to take action on it. Does that make sense? So the first thing to realize is that, yeah, you should feel fear. And if you don't feel fear, it's a sign that you should be playing bigger. Because I tell my clients this all the time. My Appreciation Academy clients tell them this all the time. That if you feel fear and it's scary, it's a sign that you're going in the right direction. If you feel fear and it's scary, and it feels right in your heart, I should say. If it feels right in your heart and it's scary, you're going in the right direction. If it does not feel right in your heart and it's scary and it's causing you to constrict and you're actually genuinely terrified in a negative way and it's not causing you to expand, that's a sign not to do it. But if it feels right in your heart but it doesn't scare you a little bit, play bigger. Play bigger in your life. And when you play bigger and you act in spite of fear, all of a sudden amazing things start to come to you. A great way to ask yourself, is this actually something that's scary or something that will cause me to change my life, is the question of, does this new experience, does this new action, does it cause me to expand or contract? Meaning, if you took action on that, would that be an expansive gesture, or would you feel like you were actually genuinely hiding and terrified, right? In your heart. Not just kind of the, yeah, if I go live, people are going to judge me, but in your heart. Does that make sense? Does it cause me to expand or contract? So the first myth about fear is that we shouldn't feel it. The second myth about fear that comes up all the time, if we want to have courage and chase our dreams, is that fear will go away when you're successful. We think, okay, once I'm successful, I won't have fear. We think like success is a prerequisite to success. We think that once I'm successful, I'll have it all lined up, I'll figure it out. No, when you're successful, you just do scarier stuff. The things that I invest in now that terrify me, tens of thousands of dollars of investment, things that when before I was terrified to spend $100. You just do scarier stuff that causes you to level up your life even more. Fear does not go away when you're successful. It actually gets bigger when you're successful. You just have more courage. Does that make sense? Okay, so this idea of being fearless, we want to kind of put that aside, because it's not that we want to be fearless, we want to be courageous. In fact, whatever you focus on, you will feel, right? So when you're focused on being fearless, are you focused on courage, or are you actually focused on fear? You're focused on avoiding fear, right? You're focused on avoiding fear. So your main focus is on fear. It's not focused on what you actually want. Courage, acting in spite of fear, that's focused on where you actually want to go. Does that make sense? You want to be courageous in your life. And a good way to do this, a good way to be courageous, is to realize that as you take action and do scary things, your level of confidence will increase tremendously. Brendon Burchard calls this the confidence-competence loop. That when you are in the beginning, if you ever want to change your life, you're going to need to take a leap of faith. Your life will not change without a leap of faith. And you already know right now what that leap of faith is. What you need to let go of. Who you need to say I love you to. Who you need to let into your life. What actions you need to take in your business. What actions you need to take in your career. You already know that next step. You're already there. You already know what is the next step. And we need to realize that a leap of faith is required to get to that next level. Leap of faith meaning trusting in your ability to figure it out. And when you take that leap of faith and you have that confidence, in the beginning it might feel a little bit forced, but when you have that confidence and you act, you get feedback. And when you get feedback, then you collect data. And when you collect data, you have more competence. And when you have more competence about a topic, what happens? It allows you to take more courageous action. You're more confident. Then you're more confident, so you take more action, and then you learn more and get more data points. So then you learn from that data and you have more competence. And it keeps going up and up and up and up and up. It's called the competence-confidence loop. Brendon Burchard talks about this. That's his work that I basically stole to share this with you. But my point is that when we take this leap of faith, we're so worried about an outcome, on what happens when we take a leap of faith. What is the outcome going to be? What if that wasn't the most important piece? What if the most important piece was the data that you collect along the way? What if that was the most important piece? For example, have you ever played chess against a computer? Have you ever played chess against a computer? There's the white piece and the black piece, they're going against each other, right? And if the computer is the white piece and he moves 2 spaces ahead, and let's say he's the pawn, right? And then one of the black pieces knocks him out, what does the computer do? Does the computer get all sad and like, oh my gosh, my life's over and I'm never going to be a successful chess player, right? Or does the computer say, okay, that's an interesting data point. I'm going to collect that data, add it to my archive of data, and apply that go forward? That's what it does, right? And so the next time the computer's playing, it knows either not to do that move or to do something else ahead of time. This is why playing a computer is so freaking challenging when you're playing chess, because a computer only sees the action and the response of that action as data instead of a hit on their self-worth and a hit on their confidence. We need to realize that when you take action on your goals in spite of fear and you have that courage to take a leap of faith and do it, the outcome you get is positive either way. The outcome you get when you take action on whatever area of your life you need to take action on is positive either way, because the outcome will tell you if you need to either change or keep going. It's very valuable feedback. So if you take a leap of faith and the outcome is positive, meaning you get the result you want, it's a sign to keep doing that action step. But if you take a leap of faith and the action and the result is not what you thought it would be, or it wasn't the result you wanted, it's a sign, a piece of feedback, a piece of data to change something, go forward. Either way, when you have courage to take a leap of faith, then all of a sudden you're still getting a positive result because you've decided that the reason you set goals is not for the outcome itself, it's for the person you become along the way. Then every single piece becomes a data point. Does that make sense? There is another level in your life. There's another level in your life, whether it's your business, whether it's your career, whether it's your marriage, whether it's your relationship with your family, whether it's your parenting, whatever it is, there's another level. There's another level that you need to give yourself permission to go there. In your business, if you're operating a business and you have these 6-figure goals and you have a 5-figure or 4-figure mindset, you're never going to get there. If you have a 6-figure business and you want 7 figures, you're not going to get there unless you adopt a 7-figure mindset. It takes a new mindset. There's another level in your life. If you want a beautiful marriage and you've had challenges with your partner before, it will take a new mindset to solve the marital problems than it took to cause them. Our life is a reflection of who we've been up until now. So if we want to change our life, we need to be someone new. You need to give yourself permission to have courage to take the leap of faith in the area that you already know you need to take a leap of faith in. There's an area of your life right now where if you said, you know what, if I were to maximize that, if I were to play all out in that, and it's typically not the area you think that you want, if I were to play all out in that area, then the rest of my life would change. I see so many people, let's say, going after business goals, right? And they're going after business goals, and it's beautiful to go after business goals, and that might be the area you want to take to your next level. I'm not saying it's not. But they're going at their business goals so hard that they're so unfulfilled in their personal lives. They're not present with their kids. They're not present in their marriage. And it's made them feel unfulfilled. And they think, once I get that business to work, then I can be present with my kids. That's not how it works. You're going to have this hole in your heart. And even if you do achieve your business goals, you're going to feel empty. Playing all out in your personal life is going to expand your business. That's how that works, right? If there are gaps in your psyche or in your heart and in your personal life, it's going to affect everything you do on the professional side. So it's typically not the area that we think we want to change, right? But sometimes it is. I'm not saying all the time. Sometimes it is. If you have a challenging marriage or relationship, maybe that's the area. But either way, there is a next level in your life. In some area of your life, there is a next level. There's a bigger way to play. And you know what it is already. Chances are you've gotten glimpses of it before. But it's scary to go there. If you want a new level of success in your life in some way, shape, or form, it will require courage. It will require an initial leap of faith to be someone new to change that piece of your life. You will have to let go of the old limiting story that's holding you back. You know what that story is. It plays on repeat. Whenever this challenge comes up, use the same mental strategies to resolve that challenge, and it dims it for a little bit and then it flares back up, right? That's common. That happens to everyone, myself included. If we want a new level, we need to play ball and be a bigger person than we are now. So take a look at the area of your life that you want to change. If that area of your life were already different, who would you be being if that were already different? Meaning, if you already had the marriage that you wanted or the business that you wanted, how would you be acting? What would be the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings that you would have if that were already true? And you need to have the courage to be that now. At the end of the day, the fear to create that is never going to disappear. You will need to have courage to act in spite of fear if you ever want to create that. That is how you change your life. You be the person you think your goals will make you become before your goals happen. That's how you change your life. That's how you instill courage to change every part of your future. That's how I changed my whole life. It's how you can change yours. So I hope you found value in this content today. I hope you choose to be courageous today. If you found value, please leave us a rating and review. I would absolutely love it if I could get your feedback on there. What topics do you like? What did you learn? Give us a star rating. Be honest, just totally open on what you feel serves you best. And that would be super awesome if you could leave us a rating and review on iTunes. And if you really love this content, subscribe below. There's multiple ways to get in touch with us below this. Subscribe below. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or any other platform you're listening on. Subscribe to this. And if you want to, oops, there's an alarm going off. If you feel that this is changing your life in some way, shape, or form, if you opt in, if you head to my podcast page, if you go to bradbizjak.com and click on podcast, there's an opt-in there. That opt-in will allow you to get weekly emails at 7 a.m. every single Wednesday where I send a new podcast out to serve you in some way, shape, or form. So I hope this serves you. I hope this helps you in some way. My name is Brad Bizjak. Go out there today and every day and live your life with a genuine smile on your face. Have the courage to do it, and your life will change very, very quickly. I'll see you next week.